Okay, IELTS speaking has three parts, and it is very important that you are aware of all three parts, and you should know what type of questions they are going to ask me, how to answer the question, and if I do not understand the question, what should I do? If I don't know the answer, for example, they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, how to deal with that. Remember, IELTS speaking test is not your general knowledge test. It's your English language test, and they mostly give you the topics where you have understanding or where you have some ideas and knowledge. So that is why they use the word general questions on familiar topics. Now, if I talk to you about shopping, you are familiar with that. If I talk to you about your hometown, you are familiar with that. If I ask you any questions about your family, you know that already. You cannot say, I don't know about my family. Okay? So, they will ask you some general questions on familiar topics in IELTS speaking test. Okay? There are three parts. The first part is called introduction, where they will ask you 8 to 10 questions on 2 to 3 different topics. Very common topics are hometown, family, education. Then they will ask you about your favorites, restaurant, languages, and all that. Okay, so we have a list of topics. There are almost 200 topics, and and these topics are there in Cambridge IELTS books 11 to 19. In every book you will find at least 4 speaking tests, and these topics are there, right? And you will find all these topics in this book as well. Now, in part 1, examiner will ask you questions with WH. When, where, why, who, how. So the first thing is you should know if the question is with who, answer is a person. If the question is with where, answer is place. If question is with why, answer is reason. Okay, you should know that. Number 1. Number 2, in IELTS speaking test, all the questions they ask you, they only use 5 tenses. 3 tenses are indefinite or simple: present, past, future. Like we use do in present, did in past, and will with first form in future. So if I say, do you drink water? Present simple. Did you drink water? Past simple. Will you drink water? Future simple. So these are 3 main tenses. 4th tense is present perfect. They may ask you a couple of questions. Have you visited any Chinese restaurant recently? Have you been to any musical concert or anything like that? This is present perfect. And finally, the last tense, and they may ask you 1 or 2 questions to check your level of English, and that tense is present perfect continuous tense. How long have you been learning English? How long have you been living in this city? How long have you been doing this job? Now, those who understand present perfect continuous and the use of since for, they answer the question properly. An examiner is impressed. Wow, this candidate knows present perfect continuous. And those who don't know, how long have you been living in this city? I am living here for 10 years. I am living here for 10 years. Is it right? No, I have been living here for 10 years. Or I have been living here since 2014. So if you use since for, have been, has been, that is the right way, and examiner can understand that your English is up to that level, right? So these are 5 tenses. Now, after these tenses, they will check 4 things. First of all, they will check your fluency. I mean, you speak without pauses. You do not. One of my students, when he speaks, he says, today I would like to tell you something important, something important, something important. And there is another thing which I want to clarify. I want to clarify. All right. Or I want to drink water, water, water. And then he repeats one word 3 times. I do have his recording, but I'll not share that. Okay. Anyway, so this is what we call lack of fluency. When you are not fluent, you say, once upon a time there was a crow, there was a crow. One day the crow was sitting, something like that, okay? So fluency does not mean you speak fast. Fluency means you speak without pauses. You don't repeat yourself. You don't repeat a word or phrase again and again and all that. After fluency, second is your pronunciation. And the best way to do that is IELTS listening. We just completed a listening test, and the way they are speaking, okay. You also become okay. I know you will be okay when you say okay, but gradually you will be okay also. So it's okay, so okay both, okay? So you need to copy their dialect, the way they speak. That will improve your pronunciation and you'll get good band in that. Next, grammar. For grammar, I told you about these tenses. Mainly use compound sentences in your answer. Use passive voice. You can use some modal verbs like can, could, should, may, might. These things will improve your band score. And after this grammar, we have vocabulary. Again, very simple. Just try to use a variety of words. For example, if the question is, what's your favorite color? Now, color related words. You guys are using artificial intelligence on WhatsApp and Chat GPT and all that. Just write there English vocabulary for colors. They will give you a list of words. Dark colors, bright colors, light color, this, that, favorite color and all that. So you can use those words. Now, if you repeat question vocabulary, you will get low band. What's your favorite color? My favorite color? My favorite color is black. I like this color very much. It is a dashing color. That is why my favorite color is black. Got it? So how many words are there? Maybe 2 to 3 new words. Otherwise, favorite color, favorite color, favorite color, and first and last sentences are same. So what do the students do? Some students, they just repeat the question. What do you do in your free time? In my free time, I watch TV in my free time, and that is what I do in my free time. Same thing. Got my point? Now, free time. You can have a vocabulary. Free time, leisure time, when I have nothing to do, spare time, anything like that. So they don't want to see your hi-fi vocabulary. They just want to see variety of words which you use to express yourself. If you do so, you will get good band score. So these are 4 criteria. After speaking part 1, after asking you 8 to 10 questions, one more thing. If your answers are short, examiner will ask you more questions. And if your answers are long, examiner will say, okay, thank you. Next question. Okay, thank you. And sometimes examiners are in a hurry. Right? They may have to go to the washroom or anything like that. So they, okay, when you answer, they say, okay, thank you. Next question. When you answer, they say, okay, thank you. This has happened with some of my students. And at the end, the outcome was not bad. I mean, examiner stopped them, okay, thank you, okay, thank you. By the end, they got good band score as well. So examiners know what to evaluate in your English. So don't worry about that. Don't tell the examiner, let me explain and all that, okay? So once speaking part 1 is over, examiner will give you a pen and paper, a topic, and that topic is what we call cue card, right? So in this book, we've got 90, 100, almost 100 cue cards, and you're going to be given something like that, okay? Now, they will give you a topic, and topic is a description. Describe a website you use. Describe a mobile application. Describe a place you often visit. Describe something, a country. Describe a language you would like to learn. So there is a description. Along with that, there are 3 to 4 bullet points. You will have pen, paper, you will have topic in front of you. You can make some notes and then you can speak on that topic, and your talk time should be minimum 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes. And after 1 minute, examiner stops you anytime, right? After that, we have speaking part 3, and in speaking part 3, examiner will ask you some extended questions, and these questions are related to your cue card. Whatever if the topic is describe a movie you once watched. In part 3, they will ask you questions about movies, people's habit of going to the cinema and kind of movies which are popular. So in part 3, they mainly ask you 4 to 5 types of question. Number 1, in part 3, they will ask you questions where you will have to give your opinion. Do you think, do you believe, in your opinion, in your point of view? That's the first category. And you should know at least 4-5 sentences to express your opinion. They say, do you think? You say, in my point of view. Or you say, as far as I am concerned, to my way of thinking. These phrases will improve your band, right? So second is comparison. They will ask you some comparative questions. For example, they will ask you to compare past with present, present with future, 2 things from present and all that. After that, third is advantages, disadvantages. What are the benefits of going to the foreign country? What are the drawbacks of learning foreign languages? Something like that. So that is advantages, disadvantages, opinion, comparison. One more. All right. Advantages, disadvantages, opinion, comparison, and all that. Okay, so these type of questions will be asked. Now, most important thing, how to answer the question in IELTS speaking part 1 and part 3. Very important. You don't have to waste the time of the examiner and your own time. So the first thing is, do not give indirect answer. Do not give irrelevant answer. The topic is, what's your favorite drink? Drinks are very important in life. Some people like hot drinks, some people like cold drinks. Is it the right way? No. What's your favorite drink? I love to drink coffee, especially the cold one. Good. Okay, answers should be direct, to the point, according to the question. What do you do in your spare time? Well, whenever I've got nothing to do, I prefer to watch movies. Something like that. Direct answers, okay? Don't just say, what's your favorite color? Colors are very important in life. Different people like different colors. Right? When a student came to me and every time I asked him the question, he commented on my question. For example, what's your favorite color? I am glad that you asked me this question. This question is very close to my heart and I am very happy to answer your question. I said, who told you all these things? He said, my teacher. My teacher said, you do like this, you get 1 band extra. Okay, so you will only get that extra band. Got the point? Exactly. So please don't repeatedly use any phrase, anything in every answer or in everywhere. Like you say, good question. Examiner says, all right, tell me about your hometown. You say, excellent, madam. This question is very good. And I was expecting that question from you because you are very beautiful today, mashallah. So then you go on. Don't do anything like that. If examiner goes angry, they may cancel your test also. Examiner has the power to do anything with that, okay? So go on, answer every question confidently. There is no marking criteria for body language, for clothing, but it's a good idea to use any deodorant and perfume, please, especially in summers, okay? Or it's not that, otherwise examiner has got the air freshener and he puts some on you as well. So these things are basic. You need to follow that, okay? Otherwise, if you look at the examiner, you don't look at the examiner, there is no marking criteria for that. You just need to answer the questions and in 5-6 sentences, how to answer. Step 1, direct answer. Step 2, elaborate your answer. And step 3, conclude your answer. Do not give any, one word answer. They ask you a question, what's your favorite drink? Coffee. Now you're looking at the examiner, ask me more. What do you do in your free time? Sleep. And then you are expecting the examiner to ask you the next. These type of answers will irritate the examiner and you'll get as low as 1.5. Keep that in mind. So you should answer in 5 to 6 sentences. If examiner interrupts you, no problem. There is no penalty on that. If your answer is short, examiner will say, why? Why not? Then you can explain further, right? So in part 1, 5 to 10 questions, between 5 to 10. Part 2, they will give you a topic. And in part 3, they will ask you around 5 to 8 questions. But sometimes examiners fail to decide your band score. For example, examiner wants to give you band score 7. And examiner is unclear, 7 or 7.5. In that case, examiner will ask you more questions. If examiner is asking you more questions, you need to answer even better than before, because that will help the examiner decide whether the band score should be 7.5 or 8. One of my students, he was asked more than 20 questions in speaking part 3. Another one from Dubai, he was asked so many questions and he said, I answered every question with full energy and all that. The one in Dubai, he scored 7. And the one here, I don't remember his score. Another guy, in part 3, yeah. Yeah, if they ask you 30 questions, then 8 band. And if they ask you 50 questions, then 9 band. The number of questions have got nothing to do with the band score. Okay, another student of mine, he got 8.5 in speaking, and he said in speaking part 3, examiner asked me 2 questions only and said thank you. So this is also there. When examiners are busy, okay, or they don't have enough time, then they may ask you 2 questions. And by the way, the conclusion is this: examiners are very much experienced. By the time you answer the first question, examiner knows the band score. Rest is only formality. Got the point? Yeah, you answer first question, examiner knows it's 7.5 or it's 6 or it's 6.5. Rest is only formality. Okay. All right. Thank you. So now I'll go around the class and